Warning, the following episode contains adult language and screaming goats. Listener discretion is advised.
Pinball energy with personality.
It's pinball. I don't even think we use it anymore, do we? Poor Jerry.
It depends. If I do the edit, I work with what audio files I still have.
You have fucking the TWIP. Welcome to the This Week in Pinball podcast. This is the Pinball Show, episode 183. Dennis Kriesel, Zach Meny. I missed these people, Dennis. I really did. I promise.
Did you? Well, I abandoned them 2 weeks ago. I was ready to record.
I've abandoned my boy.
I'm always enthused to record, and I always show it.
Do you know what movie that's from?
No, I couldn't even hear you.
I've abandoned my boy.
Gosh.
I drink your milkshake.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. There will be. I forgot that scene is so over the top. This was the whole third act.
Gosh, I just love that whole movie. I'm so excited to be recording today with you.
Hey, drainage. We should be using drainage in pinball a lot more.
I really kind of like that. Drainage feels good.
Speaking of Poe, I heard a lot of people bought this Winchester game.
That's right. Oh my God, never more. More like no more. We're going to talk about that. We're going to discuss all the stuff from Stern Pinball. We've got a lot of Expo talk and all kinds of head-scratching moments throughout Chicago Pinball Expo 2025. And we just have a lot to talk about, so we need to jump into it.
Straight into it.
But what did you do over the last couple of weeks? Things been good?
Yeah, no, been a little bit busy. Did some birthday stuff last week.
Happy birthday, Dennis.
Thank you. This week, Watch Collector was in town, so I met up and had lunch with him to talk about my other hobby.
Wow.
And, of course, tried to stay, tuned into everything that's been happening with pinball with Expo going on. But holy cow, there was way more than I thought there was going to be.
A lot of stuff.
Number 4 amazed me.
I tried to take a quick vacation with the family.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that it was probably the worst timing ever because we had.
You say that like every cruise, though.
So, I think I'm kind of tired of the shows doing pinball shows during like the fall and the spring breaks of children. It's like every single time. Chicago Pinball Expo, boom, during the week of my kids' fall break. TPF, boom, during the spring break week. And then, like, how to piss off a spouse in 10 seconds. Hey, instead of spending family time, I think I'm going to blow the only week of the whole year that the kids get off to go and to a show and work. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work well. Yeah. But we did. I said we're gonna do it anyway.
When do you want him to do it though? Christmas? 4th of July? Terry wouldn't approve.
I don't know. But here's a good thing. We did the Expo show. We is the royal we of Flip N Out Pinball. My company. Ken Cromwell and Greg Bone, the preferred ones anyway, they ran the booth there, and they had a lot of fun. They wanted me to extend my gratitude to all of those that came up and said hello, shook some hands. I think Greg held a baby or two, and that was a good.
I didn't know he liked to hold babies.
I think they got me and him mixed up. They knew one of us liked the babies. Yeah. Greg's kind of weirded out by holding people's children. I embrace it. Personally, I love it. I nuzzle. I even so much so that one of our Screaming Goat Club members said he really doesn't even want to bring his kid around me.
Yeah, that's
I might
probably
steal it.
Wise.
I'm the Rumpelstiltskin of pinball.
Yeah. I went to pick up food yesterday, and I was waiting in line. I'd already phoned the order in, so I was just there to pick it up, but someone was ordering in front of me, and He had 2 kids, and I think their grandpa, because I think they kept calling him Papa. Papa was off to the side, and they were like asking, like, the whole place was decorated with Halloween. So they're like, "Is this a ghost?" "Yes, that's a ghost." "Is this a spider?" "I think it's a spider." Anyway, the littler one, who maybe was like 4, all of a sudden ran up and grabbed my leg and started merry-go-rounding around me while holding on to me. And Papa said, "I don't think that's your dad."
That's right.
And the kid just kept going. And
their grandpa didn't stop it.
And then it was pretty quick. But the kid just looked up, and I just said, "Hello." And then
why did you say it like Paul Bunyan? Hello.
Well, it was either Paul Bunyan or I think I was trying to do my Obi-Wan. "Hello there." And
young lad.
I didn't say there. I just said hello. And the kid, his brain, he's looking and he's smiling. He had this look like he still thought I might have been his dad, but I was throwing my voice like, "I'm a ventriloquist." And then he realized I wasn't, and then he ran over to Papa, and then he's like, "You're okay." He wasn't crying or anything. He just got super shy. And I was
scared.
Like, well,
I would say that was the biggest highlight, one of the biggest highlights of the family vacation. For those of you out there who don't take vacations enough, you should just stop what you're doing. Life's too short. Guess what? You're going to be dead. You're going to die. And
not on a boat, because I ain't going to go on a boat and get that norovirus.
So you've got to take these trips now. You got to enjoy life now. Fuck it. Make the government pay for it after you die. I don't know. Whatever. Just take the trip. But anyway, one of the most beautiful things, I have a hard time slowing my mind down, viewer, and really bad about that. Almost like my hobby has become work now, which is not really good, but I don't know what else to do with my life. It's pretty sad and pathetic, but that's where I'm at. A little too transparent as well. So when I'm on these trips, oftentimes my head is just, whether it's growth or whether it's putting out fires or just, I'm always thinking about you people. And I can't just stop. I can't stop and just soak up the here and now. So I was able to do that on a couple of occasions during this trip. And it always focuses around something innocent or something beautiful. And it's always like children. So a couple of times I just stopped what I was doing and just God, this sounds creepy that I'm watching kids. But it's like, I love how stupid they are and innocent. And it's just beautiful. Because they have a whole life ahead of them. Like there was one, she was the cutest little thing. She was at an ice cream cone, so you eat ice cream all 24 hours you want. And she thought it was smart to nip the bottom of that cone. And you know what ensues at that point. It starts, because it's hot, it's 90 degrees out. It starts trickling. And you could just see her little dumb brain with her little dumb gears like, like how do I find a solution to this problem? And it's just that kind of stuff just makes me smile, makes me just tear up, because it's awesome seeing kids learn cognitively in real time right in front of you. And so stuff like that, or seeing a child being really patient for something when they don't have to be, or just all kinds of cool stuff. I just love that. So that was one of the highlights of many on my family vacation. Kind of boring, but all right, fuck it. Let's talk pinball. Stern Pinball, of course. Some manufacturers get upset because we start with Stern. Did you know that?
Do that? No.
They do.
I don't believe you.
They do. No names, but some are like...
But they understand it.
In this industry, I don't know if they do. Stern Pinball. Look, I don't have a great production update because I've been out of it for a week. But I do know that they are building Star Wars. And then I think here in late October, November, we're still going to get that remastered game, I believe. I don't have any... We were right, though, Dennis, when I said we weren't hearing last episode. We weren't hearing that this game was going to make it to Expo. That was correct. We did not see that. So it should be coming. If it is The Walking Dead, I would imagine Halloween makes a lot of sense for that launch. That area. So anytime between now and the end of October makes sense. But I don't know. November, we're going to catch up a lot of Q4 stuff so that we see the holiday season, have a lot of inventory within the sales network like Dungeons and Dragons Pro and Premium, Jurassic Park Premium, Metallica Remastered Premium, and Godzilla Premium. And we can already I've already felt that we're falling into the fall winter season because sales have increased slightly over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Not just the launched new products, new games, but I've seen Stranger Things start to sell a little bit more. You're seeing the Jurassic Parks, the stuff that you see non-pinball people or even pinball people that have been waiting, they're starting to purchase more games. So we're rolling into the holiday season. December, that last Jaws 50th anniversary run. I really think that's going to be the title that's going to hold value very well, or the model rather, is going to hold value very well. So get your hands on one of those. They're going to be running some Jaws Pros as well then. And we'll have an update in next episode on what specifically we see update-wise from then. January, we're going to see a 2026 Cornerstone. There's all kinds of rumors out there of what it could be.
What's your favorite?
My favorite rumor, personally, would probably be... I don't know, because I'm not a Pokemon guy, but
that's still my favorite, though, because I just think we'll see a lot of excitement around it.
That's a good point.
And as you know, I feed off of the joy of all the pinball people.
And then Fallout, maybe? Although I don't think that would be
my
mixed.
Personal. I still haven't accepted this as a real rumor, but...
neither have I. But I'm hearing more about Elwyn Fallout.
I'm such a Fallout fan. And I don't mean the show. I like the show, but I love the games.
But
I love Fallout.
Because you love the game so much, is that still transcend to being a theme that you love, even if it is the television series?
Yeah. The show's good.
The show's really, yeah, that show is good.
Yeah, yes. I hope season 2, I hope they don't Westworld it. But I haven't seen Westworld. I just heard that season 2 was not nearly as good as season 1.
It does go downhill.
So I'm either way, I'm pretty optimistic. Kind of like how I was cool with Deadpool being comic Deadpool. Like I get it. Like Ryan Reynolds, iconic, and that's what I didn't read the Deadpool comics, but I thought like Stern did a great job with Deadpool as a comic theme, and so if it's like that and it could be either way, I'd be happy either way. Probably.
I'm still kind of excited about Transformers. Now, granted, I played with the toys and stuff. If it's the nostalgic Transformers, I think it was still kind of right before my time, but I enjoy the nostalgia of it, and I do like that theme. I want to see if it is it Harrison Drake? I want to see if he has another, or Elliot Eisman.
Oh, the John Wick designer.
Yeah, I wanted to see if if it is him, if he has a redemption here, because there was mixed reviews on the whole John Wick thing. So we'll see. Honestly, I kind of am excited about Walking Dead if it is that. Like, I really want to.
I know you love Walking Dead.
Yeah,
it's an excellent game, but
yeah, it's my favorite. It's probably my favorite game.
Okay.
Still, so to give me more of what is my favorite is exciting, and I still really like that theme. Like, for me, it's one of the greatest television shows ever made, right up there with like the Breaking Bad, Sopranos of the world. The first 5, I won't argue past that, but I really love the theme, and I'm excited to see what it could be in the new iteration of the Spike 3. So
now, what do you think if they do Walking Dead, but they end up doing the graphic novels?
I'm okay with that. I think more people want that. I don't. But I think more people want that.
I didn't read as far. I didn't read them all. Like, I only read up till about the governor, and that's about where I stopped. So
oddly enough, the only graphic novel / comic book that I've ever read in my life, Walking Dead. I read the first 2 compendiums. Is it compendiums?
Okay.
But yeah, I went all the way. I think the second compendium ends in, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing that word, but the second one ends in, relative to the television series, would be like season 9. I mean, it's far into it. It's way past Governor and all of that stuff. So I put in my time there. So I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know why.
Maybe I'm less excited because it's going to kill the ability for me to sell the old one.
Same here. I mean, I've got my Pro. Same here. And then let's see, 2026, we're going to have pretty much the whole catalog being run. Did you know that King Kong has accessories now?
I heard about that. Perfectly timed for your trip.
You put me on a boat, we're going to see some Stern accessories. That is a guarantee. Sadly, again, not that anybody cares, but I'm on like this little excursion. We're going to this little island where we're going to climb rocks and stuff like that. And this shit drops. And I'm doing roaming fees just so I can try to download really slowly the pictures and try to upload them to the website. Yay, vacation.
With having Ken and Greg, I would think there would be a way that you could have one of them do this while you're on vacation.
They're open to it, but then there's this whole, then you got to open them up to the website and train them on the website and all
and train them. And I get it. Running a business sounds like a giant pain in the ass.
It is. It very much is. But yeah, so that's what I was doing. But King Kong accessories, mixed reviews on the topper. What did you think about this interactive topper of the Kong up there with the chains he busted through? It's using the cinema motif that we've seen on the LE and that you see on all models within the game, mostly during the Eighth Wonder of the World last kind of wizard mode-esque New York City moments.
I thought it was fine.
Oh, for you, that's high praise, actually.
I mean, it's an iconic scene. Like it's sort of an obvious choice to do, but I think it makes sense for a topper to take that approach. So
some people are calling redundancy on it, seeing an interactive Kong both under the glass and above the head. Do they move in unison? Are they separate? Are they two Kongs? Are they that kind of thing?
Right. Yeah, but I do get that. I get there. I'm stuttering here because I was trying to remember what was the other game where that I thought it was a bigger issue than this, because
the redundancy was Turtles having the same logo on the back glass and then
like this isn't that. This with the
correct,
you've got the marquee and all of that. I feel like it's different enough. Like here's the thing, Zach, and you correct me because you sell toppers, so maybe you heard this, but I didn't remember hearing a whole lot of backlash when the Godzilla topper came out. And yeah, he looked like he was really into vaping, but besides that, I didn't hear complaints that, well, Godzilla's already a figure in the game. Why is he a figure on the topper?
People didn't like that. People did not. Yeah, they were like, did
they?
So okay. We don't like the sculpture under the glass, and now we get the same damn sculpture on the topper.
Now, I remember the people not liking the way the sculpture looked. Like I remember in the game in particular, I didn't remember that about.
They hated Godzilla topper.
Chasing Clouds Godzilla.
RGB plumes, baby.
I just like
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Just like guys. And I get it. It's pinball. It's RPGs, and these buyers love RPGs. But it's like his breath has never been like a full rainbow. It's not. It's not. Well, I mean, I've seen like a little GIF where he does that. But not in the movies. But
I would have liked to have seen a different scale, maybe, and that makes no financial sense. But I would have been okay if the scale of Godzilla had been a little different than Playfield. But for me, I'm a sucker for interactive toppers, especially if you're going to give me a motorized topper. I'm probably going to like it. So I'm all in on it. I really do enjoy it. I do like the lighting effects and the marquee bulb kind of thing. I like that.
Do the spotlights light up?
So that's one of the biggest criticisms. Why not do a 3D spotlight from like Led Zeppelin?
That would have really pushed me over on it, because I'm looking at the photos actually on your website, and I noticed that they're not on any of them, but the marquee is.
Did Google algorithm that thing to the top there? Or
let me see. I searched King Kong topper, and yours was the first one, followed by Reddit.
From an island, baby, from an island. I'm so proud.
You've done it. You've mastered SEO, finally.
Yes. Yeah, but now I'm talking about it and everything's listening to me and they're like, well, I'll show you. Fucking AI.
It's a vicious game. This is the price you pay for doing a podcast.
This is very true. I like the marquee stuff. Here's the clever thing that I do love. I wish the spotlights were actually 3D. I think mod makers out there can do some cool stuff, because you can project two of them a la Godzilla, and you could probably get some cool shadowing effects onto the ceiling or onto the wall if mounted correctly. I think a missed opportunity there. But I love, and I hope this is the case, they didn't really tell us, but the marquee itself, I think you can change the letters
Like the yeah.
So
I was wondering if
you can make it say whatever you want it to say. Yeah, like if they give you a letter set or something, so it says like Bill's Game Room, or if it's all of that. I think that's the case. If not, then Stern, come on, like I'll chip in to make that happen. Like you have to do that. So I think
couldn't tell that those spotlights were flats. At first, until I zoomed in, because they've got depth to them because they're a separate piece of booty right.
Yes, booty right.
Yeah, I wish those had. Even if they just put light behind them, I would have liked it just a little bit more.
The topper comes in at $1,399, so it's not a $2,000 topper. Then again, it's not a $1,000 topper. It's as expected. They're selling well. The argument, a lot of people are like, "Well, there's aftermarket toppers that are half the price and all this stuff," and you're absolutely right. For me personally, as a collector, I don't buy big aftermarket shit for my vehicles. Unless it's really nicely done, and I just like the OEM stuff. Like the styling is the same, the art is the same. They look like they're supposed to. They interact like they're supposed to. I just don't like, because a lot of people have been asking me over the last couple of days, do I like this? Why do I like this over the secondary market or the tertiary market, aftermarket stuff? It's just not even close to me.
Yeah, but pinball's had this, there's I'm going to say a culture in pinball, and one that you've participated in, of putting in third-party mods. So
sure, absolutely.
To see, I get it from, I understand, I don't fault manufacturers for wanting to bite a big piece of the apple here and try and leverage stuff, but I liked it better. I know this will shock you. I know. I liked it better when their pricing was on par with the third party offerings, and now there's a lot of inflation baked into these products. Well, hey, some of those with exclusive modes and stuff, this was inevitable. But
some of those third-party companies, though, are essentially just ripping off IP, though.
Well, I mean, and that's Tony and I had a conversation about that actually on the last Eclectic Gamers podcast about. I think maybe it was 2 of them ago, but we talked about the issue with, you run into issues where there were people that were kind of breaking licensing, where like they weren't getting licenses, and then they get cease and desists or your other option is you go super generic. Like you could have done a marquee without King Kong and just shown the chains hanging, and it had been like left to the imagination.
Sure. Yeah.
Now with 20% more real chain. Like, I don't know what you'd leverage. I'd go to Home Depot and get me some chain, good old chain.
Just put some ferns up there. That's all. Yes. I would have just done that little spider. I love that spider. I would have made him like 6 times the scale. Spider. I know. That's why I would have went all in on it.
Because he
6 times the scale on a spring, and it just kind of jut towards like a little coil or something.
Oh, like those Halloween things where
it would leap towards the player. Yeah. I think that would be fun. Like instead of grabbing the silver ball on the playfield, it tries to grab your head. Just kind of get it. So the King Kong accessories have been announced, and thus far they're selling well.
What's your best ordered one? Is it the topper?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Mostly people buy the topper. Armor's always the last that people purchase. I didn't think this was a strong armor with just the broken chains on the side, the handcuffs, and art blades are usually initially shooter rods sell better than art blades, but then long term, so many people buy art blades. So I think I ordered more art blades than I did shooter rods, even though shooter rods quantity outsold that initially of the art blades. All right. King Kong All Access relaunched, a relaunching of Stern All Access.
A new launching, a redo of the launch, if it were.
And what people have been wanting. They've been wanting home leaderboards, and now you can have them.
Longed for them.
If you pay.
Netflix prices.
If you pay. If you pay.
You do have to pay. But these,
how do you feel about this?
This is a world where $1,400 toppers are seen as deals. So how much is it? $100 a year? Something like that?
I think it's $100 a year. And then if you sign up before the end of October, it's like $79 maybe. Don't quote me. But it's cheaper for the whole year. I don't think I know why people want it free.
Well,
sure. I get that.
I guess here's my perspective. In the grand scheme of pinball stuff, this isn't really all that much money. So it's kind of funny to me because sometimes in pinball, and I'm probably just as guilty or maybe even more guilty of it than others, but where it's sort of funny that we'll spend like this huge sum of money on this thing and then we complain and nickel and dime our way on some of the other stuff. But that being said, subscription services are naturally going to be just like how people will compare whether they want to join this Patreon versus the cost of like Amazon Prime. The same analysis is going to be done with something like this. I think this will probably do okay with two groups. One, with a lot of people who play at their house a lot. I could see them really wanting the leaderboard. Someone like me, I don't really need like the Insider Connected leaderboard because I have people like come over and play my games like twice a year. So I wouldn't get enough bang for buck out of it. And then there are others where $100 a year is basically just another, it's another streaming service. And they may very well go, well, I'm not going to subscribe to Hulu anymore. That's going to get rolled into Disney Plus anyway. I'll go ahead and do this instead. So that's I think it'll do all right.
Paramount, Peacock,
the Peacock,
the
Mountain.
Really chaps my nuts is whenever you have these paid services. Like I forgot which one it was, and the wife was subscribed to it or something. So I'm like, oh, let's watch this show. I heard good things, and I'm still watching ads, and I'm like, well, now wait a minute.
Prime's like that. You have to pay even more to get the ads.
What are we doing here? If I'm paying, then stop making me.
Yeah. Don't get my dander up. I want to be in a good mood today, Zach.
Okay.
Don't get my dander up on that.
Well, stuff. You're the peppy one on this show.
Yeah, that's what all the YouTube comments have said. I wish Zach could just step it up and actually be enthused about something.
I know. I'm always down here.
Always? You're the Eeyore. What am I? Am I the piglet?
You're the Tiggers.
I don't have the energy for Tigger. Even at my best, I cannot. I think as a child, I hated Tigger. It's like, why don't you shut up and quit bouncing?
I always related. Like, now that's a character I can get behind. Let's fucking bounce up the wall. I think this is a good idea for me personally. It doesn't do anything, but people have been asking about it. I think the price is good overall. What are you going to do? Do any other manufacturers have home leaderboards or any online system at all? For the most part, no. So $80 for the year, whatever. If it's something you like, I like the gold stuff more. That when you sign up to that, now you've got like this gold insignia whenever you sign into your games as an all access member. Like that's the kind of petty shit that I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I kind of like. It's
like that. To me, that's too much of like buying the blue check mark on
the skins and stuff. Yeah, guilty. But I'm running a business, but whatever. New code. Also new code.
I love new code.
Calm down, Dennis.
The Star Wars, the fall of the I'm sorry, that was my Tigger. Fall of the Empire.
Follow the Empire.
That's what Tiggers do. They can't shoot the Death Star, but they can.
The wonderful thing about Death Stars.
Tight but findable.
Tight but findable. Rejects.
That's the Dremel.
Get out the Dremel. That's been the biggest complaint on Star Wars because people are actually loving that game, but it's like this reject thing. I still haven't got my hands on one. Joel's got mine, but I'm hearing about the rejects, and then people have said there's going to be fixed kits. I don't know what's going on, but new code for Star Wars people seem to be enjoying. It's only at 0.85. Shout out to Ray Day. Nicely done, my friend. But Ray Day, still a bit of an uphill battle on this title. I'm going to shoot it straight to you, buddy. So it kind of is up to you, man, if this is going to be a successful game.
No pressure.
All the pressure in the world. I understand that, but we kind of just tell the truth here. So
is the fixed kit they're sending out more Ray Day code? Is that what you're saying?
I got to have more Ray Day.
I'm just imagining the kit is sandpaper.
My game's got an illness, and the only cure is more Ray Day code. Ray Day. Yeah, it's going to need as much Ray Day as possible.
I put my pants on just like anybody else, one leg at a time. But then after I have my pants on, I have Ray Day do more code.
I need to sprinkle in a more Ray Day. So Ray, you've still got 0.15, baby. You've got some room here, but let's not go in between too long close. Without him. You're gonna have to pull some all-nighters. You have to contract some team members to help. We just, it's in a good spot. It's going to continue selling well, but I did see a little bump after Expo for the LEs for whatever reason. I guess the people played the LE at the show and really liked it. So, but we do have new code for that. New code for Dungeons and Dragons 0.97.
Dungeons is close.
But man, that thing is still, I'm surprised it's not already done with the amount of depth that's there.
I am a little surprised, but timeline wise, I'm really not.
Man,
not yet, because it's still less than a year old.
That's true. That is true. And then the one darling little game that people are talking about is 0.94 on Uncanny X-Men. Now they've redone the Danger Room rules, and that game is really coming around and becoming favorited by a lot of people.
I've heard a lot of appreciation for the new code.
Yeah,
that's made a big difference. I've actually heard that as well about a number of people who have really liked where John Wick kind of.
I was going to say that too.
Code.
Yep, that's where they're going.
John Wick's too hard for me. I want to play it again, but I just didn't like shooting it very much.
That's the biggest difference for me. Like, I'm still seeing the prices of Uncanny X-Men being, I think, way too cheap compared to the game you get. But
a lot of initial games sold though, so the market's a little. Don't you think it's a little flooded though with X-Men? Like, there's just a lot out there.
That's very much why the market is, and just the narrative, the hobbyist narrative behind that. It's going to be hard to pull itself out of that. But give me Uncanny X-Men all day long over a lot of the recent Stern releases. But maybe it's just my particular flavor of game. I really like it. Now we get into the new release game that nobody's seen coming.
Yeah, everyone. I was like, what? Barrels already this year? Another game?
Yeah. Nobody. Why would they're still selling Dune? Why would they sell this?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the worm is sitting down for a minute, and in walks in the possessed lady who keeps building onto her house. I don't know how many people knew of this theme.
I did not know about it, but I've seen online a lot more people are. I think maybe there's like a lot of regional fame to this house. So
we've had a lot of California orderers.
Yeah.
At Flip N Out, a lot of people in California. It's around the San Jose area, maybe. Okay. It's the Winchester Mystery House is what this landmark or this attraction is called, and it's based on. You go to the. Kerry Hardy did a really good video and like this historical context at the beginning of his launch video on this game that talks about basically it's the Winchester Rifle Company family, and the heiress to that was I forgot what her name was, Mrs. Winchester, and she got all discombobulated thinking that she is cursed from the souls that lost their lives to the Winchester guns during wars or whatever it may be. And she was told by whether it was during seances, during this this person telling her what are the people? They're not gypsies. What are the people that?
Oh, are you thinking like the crystal ball? Was it like a medium or a psychic or some sort?
So they told her, "Hey, look, you've got the only way to ward off all of these spirits that are coming after you is to continue building this home for all these spirits to go into and all this stuff." So they've got this expansive mansion that this is real life stuff that she built, and a bunch of creepy ass stories related to this. So it's based on a true story. It's like the game that's based on a true story, and it just so happens that it is a really intriguing story to make into a pinball machine, because you have one of the themes that people most love, I would argue, in pinball. There's like space sci-fi that people love, and they love ghost haunted houses, and there's a couple like and probably magic, 5 like themes.
There's broad stroke thematic stuff that people really resonate with.
Really lend themselves towards pinball. So the Barrels of Fun, they had an idea to do something different. They wanted to do that because they even said themselves, this is not an A-tier license. This isn't even a B. Like, this is this is such a small license that we pretty much see that as being its own license. This is a kind of an original concept type of thing. But I don't think, it's still a licensed game.
So they did pay money to the to use. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I was a little curious if this was, again, I haven't consumed the making of content. So I wasn't sure going into this recording here if this was a license or if this was a non-licensed but not original theme, kind of like
Houdini,
American Pinball and Oktoberfest and Houdini, and later we'll talk about Hex's Three Musketeers. You don't have to pay the Dumas family for that.
But this is an original theme, right? I mean, this is people were saying like, oh, this is an original theme. I'm like, no, it's still not an original theme.
But I found that in pinball, people they think that license and original are synonyms, and they're not.
I see.
And on the surface, it's you understand, but you can see how someone's shorthand, because so often we talk, if something's not original, it's licensed in pinball. So people will sometimes, what they mean is it's not licensed, but, and I'm sure there are plenty of people that, like me, when I saw this, I thought, did they just come out with an original haunted house theme? Just based off of nothing?
Which is what a lot of people liked about this new game. So it's their 2nd year anniversary. I guess they launched Labyrinth at Expo.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
And so they were teasing, hey, it's our anniversary of Labyrinth. And then they teased leading up to this launch of this game. Then they teased, hey, Dune, we launched that then. And then the next thing, they were like, something special is coming on the 13th day at the 13th hour. They're doing this 13 motif that we did see in Labyrinth as well, and which aligns very well with this theme. And then they launched at the same time 2 bombshells, which was one, this game, the Winchester Mystery House, which we'll talk about in depth. But the other being, they've added a team member, and not just anybody, a new designer. All right. And that designer is a very well-respected person in this hobby and industry, that of Karl DeAngelo from IE Pinball fame, notoriety. He was I would say he's one of the pioneers in pinball streaming and
I would say
broadcasting.
I would say he is probably at this point the most popular.
Okay, there you go. So
does that mean most viewers? I don't know, but just in terms of with enthusiasts, people, during the pandemic, he really built up an audience. His high level of play, coupled with what his content was, which was basically getting to the end of any game, was compelling to people that like to see.
He's one of the greatest players in pinball,
and the way he would narrate his games and go he just really,
his demeanor,
I think he really filled in a big void after. His style is very different than Jack Danger's, but when Dead Flip quit being Dead Flip, lots of other of streams started to fill the void, but Karl's was one where it's like people were adamant that he had to get Twitch partner. Like they were mad that he didn't have it. It was we've seen others be successful in these more recent years as well. Get that, but I'd never seen such like an organized campaign to do it like I did for Karl.
Well, and he set the standards, in my opinion, to the way that pinball is consumed, gameplay-wise, to a lot of the world. In that he was kind of the originator of this whole, or he made it well known, the streaming rig.
Yes,
and that's Karl DeAngelo, and a lot of streamers and gameplay video people utilize his design on that, and the way he does broadcasting, like for these different tournaments and leagues, whether it was It Never Drains or whether he traveled. So he brought the quality of broadcasting to the masses that I think people say Jack Danger brought about pinball streaming, and I think Jack Danger's a pioneer as well. I think he brought people to pinball more so than anybody else. But Karl DeAngelo has finally detailed. I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say. Like he just put the detail oriented. I don't know. He put the cherry on the sundae.
Yeah, I think the way you described it, where I credit Dead Flip for bringing a lot of attention to the pinball hobby, especially from non-pinball people. But the channel was always oriented around Jack's personality. Karl seemed to be the stream for people that had fallen into the deep end on pinball,
the technical side
and had a lot of. Jack's streams looked great too, but just in terms of like the just really high polished, high production value, coupled with really high skill play and an orientation about putting the pinball front and center.
How do we get a rig with wireless components that can wheel from one place to the other?
It's such an interesting, because for a lot of people, they probably don't really appreciate it, because if you don't stream, why would you, like, if you're not streaming, why would you necessarily care? But it upped the game on so many, like, all of a sudden streaming tournaments became super common at high grade. Like when I used to stream the Kansas City Pinball Championship, I didn't have that rig stuff. It was so low rent. I mean, we're talking running USB extenders and using webcams, and the quality is just not there compared to...
It's one of the most complex things that is streamed in the world, I would argue. I don't know multicam, I mean, from a hobbyist level.
It was, if you had the money to put the rig together, which I think at the time was a couple $1,000s, it sort of standardized a level of quality that was very high. Maybe that's a good way to put it.
So that's Karl DeAngelo. So he is a name for us hobbyists. Outside of pinball, nobody knows who in the hell he is. But in pinball, people know who Karl DeAngelo is, and he's created a good brand for himself. He really has. He's very well respected by both hobbyists and by manufacturers. So he comes in, now this is his side gig still. He still has a full-time job, but he comes in and designs this. Interestingly, viewer, not his first, this wasn't his home brew whitewood that he was doing behind the scenes. That probably got him the job here at Barrels. And that game we may even still see, but it was attached to a license a very big license that Barrels was in the middle of attaining or couldn't attain or whatever it may be. But this is a whole new design. This is essentially his second designed game, but it's his first publicly designed game. We'll probably see elements of his whitewood come on his next game, which I'm already hearing fantastic things about. But he enters into the scene with this. He was really into the theme. He's a California guy, so he's very well versed with the theme, and he's been working on this for a year or two. And he's very Elwin-esque in that he designed the game, and he has high-level detailed knowledge when it comes to rules. So he has created the rule set for this game as well. I'm sure the team has also helped, but he's doing the rules too. Programming is going to be done by Eric Pripke and team, I believe. Artist Brad Albright. We've seen Brad on Portal. He is the artist here. We love him because he's the artist of the Pinball Show logo with the goat, the Kraken logo straight down the middle, the beep boop beep boop, Hulk 2D2. He's done a lot of work, beautiful, beautiful work. So he's on this. And then sound was done by Dirty Pool Pinball, Jeff Dodson, many of you familiar with. They had one model of this game. That's what Barrels does. Just one model alone. They limited it to 525 units, just rather low for a single model approach. A fully loaded game. So Barrels does this whole, we only have one model. It's just fully loaded model. We're not doing this, pro premium LE kind of stuff. No price increase from the last release of Dune at $11,600. And if we want to talk about the product launch itself, like I said, the 13th day at the 13th hour, they revealed this thing. Nobody was expecting anything this year from Barrels of Fun because they were still selling Dunes. But we got photos, we got a trailer of the game, and we had a lot of what people are praising very highly. Barrels of Fun was that it was a surprise, and they're praising a lot of things. This thing did well, but one of which that people really liked was they had a handful of media kind of primed and ready to go with content at the launch. So Kerry Hardy had a video. He's calling a featurette. It's his own iteration of what a featurette is. That was really good. Dirty Pool had a pinball video interview with himself doing sound, and Karl DeAngelo. The Flip N Out Pinball podcast, Greg and Ken did a video interview of David Van Ness and Karl DeAngelo. That was like an hour long, so that went very in depth on different things. Wow. At launch, I mean, boom, boom, boom. There's a lot of stuff to consume. And then the following day, we even got a pre-recorded gameplay video by Karl DeAngelo, designer and rules creator for Winchester Mystery House. So a lot of stuff right at the onset. Here you go. Here's all the information you need. And then the first as we were talking about launches, the first thing was like, oh, it's only 525 units. They're selling fast. And then everybody was like, yeah, they're going to sell through, but that's not selling out. So the controversy behind the scenes within the hobbyist community was they haven't sold out. They just sold through. It's going to take dealers a while to sell. And then within a day, everybody's like, well, no, fuck, all the dealers are sold out now too. So a lot of people did wait on this too long, but they didn't know. Whenever I knew it was Winchester Mystery House, and we'll talk about this, but that theme alone, I was like, well, I don't know what you're going to do with that. Like, either nobody knows what the hell that is. But it wasn't until all of the other details around this, then you're like, oh, okay, I see what this is going to be. The objectives and story, like I said, the history of the license, was a lot into it. They still probably added some elements to that as well. But they did some really crafty things. Like I said, go watch those contents. This piece of content, they're going to do a much better job than us at that. Artwork, let's jump into the artwork. What'd you think about? It's a different style of artwork that I've fallen in love with, but I think I could see some people either love or not like.
Yeah, overall, it's different. I thought it worked well for the theme. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of a virtual pinball table called. Yes, I knew you were going to have a reaction, but you have to remember that. What was the now I just blanked. It's the Pinball FX 3 like launch one where with a haunted mansion or something. But
okay,
some of this stuff with the ghost look and stuff on the translite, that's what it reminds me of is from that. And it kind of, it's a whimsical look. I would say I like the play field. I thought the decision just sort of to have the crystal ball and sort of the smoke going up. I think it's a nice look. And again, there's not really a lot of identifiable like imagery that I can associate with a license. So for me, doing something more generic works okay here. And it's playful. The only thing I really didn't care for art wise is I don't really like the sides of the cab very much.
I like the left side of the cab. The right side, I'm just neutral on.
That's fair. I've been looking more at the I guess
the
facing
hands.
The game, the right side one with the hands. I don't really like the hands.
And that's okay. The seance room there. I like the perspective of that left cabinet with the palm tree, notably.
Yes. The house side looks better. It looks
That's
better.
Cool. And I love that back glass.
I do like back
glass. That is a strong composition. Their color, placement, illustration, logo plate, like that is damn it, Brad. That's pretty close to perfection there. I would say I love the head art. That's the stained glass. And that's where you can pull the colors in with stained glassing. I think a lot of people could say this theme. Why would blues and purples, like this is a dark theme? I think this is perfection. This is exactly what I would want for a pinball machine. Pinball machine is a game, so I'm fine with them going more whimsical. This is almost Papa Duke-esque, the art that's associated with his games a lot, so I'm a sucker for that. I simply love this art package, and I think it's so good. Like, I'm really tough on playfield art. I'm really tough on it. And this works for me. I think it's just the predominance of the blue that really works. And like you said, that crystal ball being a main large image, like, I like right between the flippers there. That illustration perspective-wise is perfect. And I think even the models of this game are well done. And if we're talking about art, they blend really well with the whole theming of the 2D illustrated art. Even the apron art is beautiful. I love their choice of colors on the trim. This is a stunning pinball machine. I think it's one of the main reasons among probably 4 or 5 that this game has done so well so quickly. It's the art package and the looks of the game. Okay. So we're up on the art. That's good stuff. What about the toys, mechs, features? To me, this game is loaded. We're going to go through, I'm going to jot off some stuff here, Dennis, then we can talk about it. The Mystery House Ghost Box, kind of the most prevalent, where you see this big molded house mansion in the background, in the back third of the game. And what do I say? What do we say here all the time? Something big, predominant, like a medieval madness castle, like an alien ship in AFM. It's right there. And that's what they did here. And I think it paid dividends for them. But this is more technological in that you've got the molding, but you've got a Pepper's Ghost effect, where they usually use that backboard as a display. This is a Pepper's Ghost effect, so a rather large one, probably as large, the largest since Pinball 2000, I would guess. But it makes total sense when it comes to spirits and ghosts to have this effects in the back box there. And then even has a tower that falls, creating a new path, which feels like the tower in Lord of the Rings that falls, but enhanced. So you get what people love, and then they enhance it and they go up one on that. You have the revolving hallway turntable. This feels very much of what we're going to get from Karl DeAngelo. I want something different in pinball, not just toys, but I want different paths and different ways to shoot a pinball machine, where this has a Lazy Susan-esque kind of thing that turns and creates different ball paths, 8 different positions, unexpected variety of ball paths, 3 unique entrances. So that's a welcomed effect that's going to leave people with, it's not going to get us stale, because you're going to have all kinds of iterations of where the balls are going to go. You get that collapsible tower, and it's theme appropriate too. In 1906, there was an earthquake that destroyed that house's tower, so they play it into the gameplay here. And then there's a hidden ball path. I love that you have to earn different ball paths in pinball. We don't see that often, but I really like whenever they do that. We have a stairway or staircase to nowhere, magnetic ball catch. I thought this was weak at first until I realized really what it was. It looked like just a dead-end shot to me, and I was like, whoop-de-doo.
Right.
And just the side of the metal and stuff, I was like, that's not very captivating. But once I realized there was a magnet midway, and they set up a moment here where seemingly a dead end plummets the ball further into the depths of the house. So there was a certain ball path that will lead up there. Magnet will catch it, so you see it's going nowhere. Rotisserie, or the table, will turn, creating another path. Then the ball will be let go down into a subway or down into a different ball path. That's really cool. That's a moment there. We have a door to nowhere staircase. Again, theme appropriate. This lady created weird shit where there's doors that are in the floor, doors on the upper levels of the house that just walk into nothing outside. You would fall and plummet to your death. There are doors that you open and it's a wall. Weird shit. So they have that in this house. They have a door to nowhere that expels the house's ghostly inhabitants. They have a right staircase ramp that has a diverter on it. So it's a whirly-magig that feeds the upper flipper, or it can be diverted into the back of the house. They have a seance room, inline target banks. Very few people do these, Dennis. But this is a Karl DeAngelo, he's a competition player, and those players love drop targets. So not only do we get 2 3-bank drop targets, we also get an inline bank of drop targets. It's very close to the flipper. I would guess that it's going to be a mean area to shoot, but nonetheless, I do like inline drops that we very rarely see. We have the seance table and the crystal ball. More aesthetic. It's a ball hold area that's really cool. It looks probably Vuck-esque. They probably throw a Vuck up there. It's a physical ball lock. There's a spirit board apron that is illuminated lettering, and it glows as well. There's an outlaying kickback, custom sculpts, magnets. We could keep going on and on. There's a lot of stuff in this game, a lot of stuff that changes the path of the ball. This is not, I would argue this is a very unique layout, which again, if we're talking about why this game works, in my opinion, this is one of them. You compare this to Star Wars, and it's very night and day. Fan bit layout versus a 4-flipper, multi-path, very novel layout. What are some of the mechs and toys out of that list that stick out to you?
Obviously the Stairway to Nowhere magnetic ball catch. I thought that was a really interesting idea. and the way I think it's going to be implemented really well, given the emphasis that they've had on it. I also really appreciated the hallway turntable. We've seen a few other turntable systems now, obviously with Harry Potter and stuff, but I'm curious how this one will compare, given the number of paths involved. I think, but it's been pulled off in a different way than we saw in Harry Potter, like in terms of how it feeds. And so I like the Harry Potter one as well, but I'm very curious about this. And then just the general layout, despite having all this stuff, I do want to note it looks very clean. So sometimes, and I think most modern game design has generally done a good job of this as well. But considering this is a freshman/sophomore effort from Karl, a lot of the stuff, like the sculpts and stuff, they've kept more towards the sides and the back of the playfield. Nothing looks particularly disruptive. I like that it's a 4-flipper game. And it looks like all of those flippers have a really unique shot choices. It's not just to do like a simple thing. Yeah, I know one of those is a mini flipper, but the overall approach there makes it look like it will be pretty fun to shoot, which I think is exciting. But yeah, feature wise, I also think that the ghost box was a really cool touch, and at least from the promotional stuff that I've seen with it, looks very well integrated with the whole building backdrop. Barrels has always done a great job with World Under Glass, and they've continued here. I was just surprised at how good this ended up looking. It's interesting. I mean, it's not an inexpensive game, but we know games that are more that we could argue don't look this good in terms of features.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. The other things I will note, if we're talking about features of this game, the what stacks up, what this game has: 3 full-size flippers, 1 mini flippers, 4-flipper game, 6 pinballs used, 4 metal ramps, 5 habit trails, 2 subways, 2 scoops, 2 vertical up kicks, 2 magnets, a spinner, a diverter, kickback, 2 drop target banks, 1 inline drop target bank, a captive ball, 2 up posts, 1 physical ball lock. It does have the horizon atmospheric lighting, or HAL. The RGB, like the stadium lighting, interactive kind of expression lighting, Hot Rails, their own iteration of that. It does have, let's see here, apron floodlights, Evergloss, that high gloss decal art, Radcal, like their iteration of that, Evergloss, Infinity Glass, anti-reflective glass, Thunder from Down Under, I cannot get used to that name, shaker motor, factory installed inner art blades, 15.6-inch HD LCD display, flanked by some high range stereo speakers, illuminated lighting for the speaker lighting as well, with insets, 8-inch cabinet subwoofer, a 12.3-inch LCD Pepper's Ghost display, polyester metallic powder coated cabinet armor, and matching speaker panel with laser cut stained glass window pattern speaker grills. I really like that. The powder coat is like the sea foam green blue. It's phenomenal. We do not see that color in pinball, and I'm glad it is used here. Rules and code of the game: 13 plus modes, because there's like 13 rooms that they 3D mapped from this house. So you are walking around and you're exploring this actual house within your game. 2 main multi-bowl modes, there may be more in the future, numerous mini wizard modes, and then your wizard modes and all of that. Not much we can talk about regarding rules and code, because frankly, like we don't know enough yet. We have, I think, as a hobby, as a community, we have a lot of faith in Karl DeAngelo, more so than we would give anybody else that was on their first rule set. I think it's fair to say. So needless to say, I think we would all put our money that the rule set on this game, when it is finished, will be superb.
Yeah, I think so. We may be wrong, but I don't think we will be. Also, I want to go ahead and say the Ouija board for the apron.
Oh, okay.
Clever for like the player number and stuff, the ball and stuff. I just thought, it's actually a nice little touch there.
I think that was in one of the videos they were talking about. I think that was a Brad Albright call, where they had like a smaller one on it, and then they brought him in to do the art package. He was like, what if we just did this, the whole apron, almost wooden Ouija-esque spirit board, and then we can use the whole thing to light up letters, and it really worked.
Yeah, I'm glad they went the full apron with it.
Though here's the thing that they were teasing on, I think that was the Dirty Pool video, that there's a secret, something that nobody's found in this game, or nobody's found it because it's just releasing, and they thought may take a while for people to find. But it sounded like they were talking about UV lighting effects to me. Maybe I'm just reading into it too much, but they were like talking about lighting, and then I'm always keen to, like, if somebody's talking about something and then they go into another topic, but it came cognitively from something. It was derived, odds are, and something led me to like the UV. And then when I look at the flyer, like there's some different cuts of like pictures that seem very bluish green, almost a flasher effect, that I'm like, I think this is what they're talking about. So I think there's going to be some additional really cool lighting stuff maybe in this game, whether it is within the game already or if there's something you're going to add later. I don't know, but something cool maybe even coming in addition to what we've talked about. The music, sound, and call outs. I think it's Dodson, Dirty Pool. I thought everybody would love this sound package. What little I've heard thus far was like phenomenal. And there was this cool, almost caretaker voiceover haunted. It took me back to the Haunted Mansion, which I just love so much in my life. I love the Haunted Mansion theme from Disney, but it reminded me of that. But then I heard, like, after it came out, I was like, oh well, shit, everybody's gonna love that. Then some people are mixed on it, and I'm like, what? Like, it's one of those things when people say they don't like something, you're like, you almost want to check their forehead, like, you have a fever, like, how do you not? That's awesome. That's unbelievable. So, but I think most people do like the music and sound, but I haven't heard enough of it yet.
Yeah, I can't opine on that yet.
Same with animation display. That was one of the things I was worried most about. Whenever you have an IP like an Avengers, you've got the movies. Well, what an example to use. Sorry. Whenever you have something, one I use Jurassic Park. But when you have the films of something, you can use that on the LCD screen. Whenever it is not an original license, but a low, they don't have assets to Winchester is what I'm saying. They might have a logo that the company has made, but they don't have animation sets, so they have to create everything. So I thought one of your biggest red flags is like, what is this game really going to have in it, animation-wise? But what I've seen thus far, I really like, and I think it was smart to lean into an effect with your animation. So they have a Pepper's Ghost thing. But we'll see over time what the animation is going to be. Talk about the reception of this game.
It was all right.
What were your like, as you've been listening over the last week or so? What this game came out on Monday? Was it Monday? Yeah. So we're nearly a week. Was it always just big? Because I'm too close to it because I knew what was coming kind of thing.
Kinda. I mean, I think I was working. So like when the announcement hit, I wasn't there right away to know the initial take. So I saw some Discord posts on several pinball Discords that I'm on. And the initial reaction was, I'll summarize it this way. Oh, this looks really interesting. Oh, it's kind of expensive, but it does have a lot in it. Holy cow, Karl DeAngelo did it. Oh, it's sold out. That is your timeline. All on the same day.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that being.
And so there were a lot of people that I saw who were like, wow, I don't know what this theme is. This looks really interesting. I like who's involved with it. Maybe, I'm wondering, they're only doing 525. Oh, I probably have some time. And then it's like, no, I don't have any time. And then a lot of people do the whole, well, I'm glad it sold out because now I don't have to make a decision.
That's a good point. Yeah, the reception, I would say overall, exceptionally strong because
I can't help but compare it to TNA, Total Nuclear Annihilation, which was the first run was 550 units. Sold a little bit different strategy, of course. Original theme, got it known as a whitewood around shows, but also had a person who's well known in pinball and not as well known as Karl DeAngelo, but well known and respected in pinball. Difference though was TNA it took forever to sell out. I bought one from Spooky. It was already built. I didn't order it. It was done, and I bought it off of the line. I didn't pre-order. So my point being, like, that was not a fast mover like this. This, I was very surprised. Even when I saw everything about it, I was still like, but nobody knows this theme. And I know, yes, there are people that are listening that do know the theme, but you know what I mean, Zach.
Sure,
This is an F tier license, and you and I both have for years now ad nauseum said this is not the right play.
Yeah,
but it's sold out, and I get it. It's not a 5,000 unit thing. It's 525 units, but what does this say about us?
That is a really interesting point of discussion there. Have
we failed? Are we has-beens now?
No. I think we could have projected this as well. So it did, to talk about the sales of it. The sales were strong from the minute. It was very exponential. So for those in the video, it was like strong sales, but boom, gone. Like it built every hour, built up upon itself. There was not one dip. It was almost a curvature, like a bam, and it was done immediately. It was almost like the days that we'd seen of Evil Dead once people got their hands on it from Pinball at the Beach. It was like, oh, okay, no, there's legit. This game isn't breaking down. It's awesome. It's fully packed. It's set. Bam, and it was gone. So that was
this one. We haven't waited to see if it breaks down. It's just gone.
It's just gone. So did we fail them? Yeah, I do think the interesting point of discussion here lies within this whole different model and concept. Does it work? This whole low popularity IP, but low unit production? We have said no. Don't bother with it. This is not how you sell games. But what if you only want to sell 500 games? Okay, that's a little different. But you still, look at Predator.
We've seen other things that, all right, I know this is not, please, Barrels, don't, or blame me, don't blame Zach for this, but like, Barrio's barbecue.
Oh, I mean, Dennis.
It ain't even getting to 50. Like, we've seen it, and I get it that like that's not a theme. Or again, it's not a license. But the thing is that we're talking about something that's not a big thing to most people. So I'm just saying, like, we've seen this blow up before. Like, blow up in people's faces.
Predator couldn't sell more than 200 units. Well, yeah. So it doesn't matter how small a run is what we're saying. You still have to check boxes. Now, once you check enough boxes, sure, you're going to sell a lot of 500 units more than you are 2,000. And I would argue that you're going to sell them out quicker because there is a built-in fear of missing out at 500 units compared to 2,000. There just is. But when you compare it to the likes of something like Dune, you think Dune has sold 525 units?
I wanted to say yes, but I wanted to bring up Dune. I'm glad you did, because Dune is that is a mega license.
Huge license. Very integrated.
The films did great. It's fresh on everyone's mind. We're
full
not just
assets.
digging up a bunch of books from, before I was born. And full assets. And that game, like, people were cautious. And again, part of that could be the LE here, like that it's limited to the 525. So that I could understand that being a factor, but normally for a nothing license, it's like you would think that would give you plenty of time. In Dune, people were and it wasn't like Barrels' Labyrinths are just renowned for breaking down and stuff, but people seemed cautious with
Labyrinths
Dune.
were tanks. Labyrinths were tanks.
And so what I thought happened with Dune was two things. One, the software was pretty basic when it came out, and that didn't do it any favors. And people knew they had time. And the other thing is, God, this has been a rough year. Like, there's just a lot of good games.
It was surrounded by Harry Potter and Keith Elwin.
People, I think, were kind of, and we're deep enough in the year now where I think everyone knows, like, all the big stuff's out. So at this point, you knew if you wanted to get, like, you saw Harry Potter, you've decided if you want it or not. You saw King Kong, you decided if you wanted it or not. and maybe it's been easier at this point. That still doesn't explain why this sold out. It just explains why Dune maybe was slower than Dune is slower than this.
And the surprise effect. Remember, at this point, I have a loudspeaker that I'm screaming into year after year. And soon enough, I think manufacturers are catching on that part of it is an emotional response. Like, you will get sales based on emotional response. People kind of heard rumblings of a Dune coming. They were prepared for it. They didn't really like it. They liked the movies, but it wasn't built-in nostalgia. When people hear about a haunted house-based pinball machine and they hear about it being available, announced now, boom, there it is, their emotion shoots up. Like, maybe it would have if they dropped a Dune without anybody even knowing it was going to be a Dune. So when that came out, hey, this is haunted house-based pinball machine, it was the timing of it too. Like, you get people on that emotional high rather than them getting high on it and then waning over time. I think that this worked phenomenally for a number of reasons, many of which we've talked about, but a lot of which can be summed up in different arenas, such as, do you think the designer had anything to do with this being a success? That of what we iterated, Karl DeAngelo, first game.
I actually think that it's the biggest driver of all of your items.
I think it is
because
too. I do.
Because when I think back to when Elwin did his first game, and yes, people were familiar with the Archer Whitewood, and they saw the DNA of that in Iron Maiden, but high-level player, very well-respected person in the pinball industry, game did very, very well. Same thing happened with Jack Danger. Well-known in the industry.
100%.
A lot of people like him. I knew people who bought, and Foo Fighters was not like the biggest band license to go with, but I knew people that said, I'm buying Foo Fighters because it's Jack. Mm-hmm. It's Jack's first major game. They're saying inside the home editions. His first major game, I want to back it. And here you have Karl DeAngelo, another really, he's quote unquote pinball famous, and like Elwin, a very good player. So I think people are going, based off of what we've seen in the past, why wouldn't we take a chance on this guy?
One of us.
And I think more so than anything else, there are plenty of people that are like, I don't care about the toys in this. I don't care what the theme is at all. I care that it's Karl. Mm-hmm. And I'm buying it because of Karl.
Karl, it's Elwin, it's Jack Danger, it's Scott Denisi, it's one of us. It's who we...
Yes.
And it also helps that, and this is more the layout and features of this game that I think help sell it, but when these guys come out with something, it wasn't a fan layout. If Jack Danger came out with his first game and it was Foo Fighters and it was a Steve Ritchie fan layout, I don't think it would have done well. No, it's that these guys are new.
Fair point.
They're bringing to the hobbyist what we want, and that is something new in design and layout. And Karl did that in Aces here, just like Elwin, just like Jack, and arguably just like Scott Denisi did too.
I mean, TNA is not a layout like anything else. It's not like, I get that single level, but it's not like anything that was in the, like it will not be mistaken for anything else.
So yeah, I think designer, I think the layout being unique, I think the theming of it as a haunted house, you can make another haunted house-based pinball machine, and if it is loaded and cool, it would sell again. Like, people it is a theme that speaks to pinball. I think one of the biggest things here is collectability. And not just because it's 525. How fast it took Evil Dead to sell 525? This sold 525 units way quicker than Evil Dead did. I would say Evil Dead probably took months to sell 525. And in retrospect, you're thinking, if you're a hobbyist in this industry, you're like, what? Evil Dead took that long? And this thing was a no-name and took... I think that this game's success, they are forced to thank Spooky Pinball in this. I think the success of Winchester Mystery House comes in a large part to that of the success that we've seen with Evil Dead. I would almost put that right up there, not with Karl DeAngelo. I think that is the strongest reason it has, but the collectability, it being 525 units, and it coming off of the back of what Spooky Pinball did with Evil Dead, is a big reason why this thing is successful. And the irony of these two companies juxtaposed between a lot of them leaving Spooky and not forming Barrels, but ended up being at Barrels, them not having a back and forth, but them kind of doing things publicly and behind the scenes that maybe tit for tat, but seeing Evil Dead's success and seeing it on the market sell for thousands more, I think that has led to some of the success, a large part of Winchester. Am I wrong?
I think maybe, but not. I don't think as strongly of a factor as you do. I think maybe for some buyers, but I don't think it's a strong number.
I don't know what game we've had since. What have we had since Evil Dead that was pitched from a respected manufacturer that was a low run? We don't have any other examples. Like this was the next example.
No, I the reason why I'm cautious about that, Zach, is simply because the pinball hobby got like that and then got burned so many times. I just don't know of speculative collectibility, especially when it's not the same manufacturer. I'm just not sure it's. I mean, things can be cyclic, so maybe we're bad. I'm not. You may be right. I just don't feel like that. It was like, holy cow, this happened with Evil Dead. I need to act now and buy this. I think if these other things weren't in play, that wouldn't have come up. I think it would have just been Spooky. The reason why I think Evil Dead took as long as it did to hit their exponential thing and sell out is they are still having to try and shake that reputation that their games break all the time.
Trust. Yeah.
And so once people were hearing that these things were surviving in shows, I think that went a long ways.
Evil Dead's held up very, very well.
But Spooky has relied on what I call, and Barrels does this too, the false scarcity strategy of deliberately selling everything limited to try and I always assume it as to juice sales, to try and be like, well, we're going to have a little bit of the FOMO. No matter what, there's always the FOMO because there's this raw, hard count that's set on everything that we do. It's just, that's not enough in this day and age to move units. That worked very well for Spooky early on after they got the momentum from America's Most Haunted, which took forever and a day to sell out. But you may be right. I might be underestimating this.
We'll talk more about that in pinball market trends. I think another, again, subset reason, but if you keep adding up different check marks here, that's why you find success. The launch of a game. We've found, I would argue, that the launch of a game in such a niche little hobby with the limited unit products sold is very important. We've seen it with Evil Dead. They nailed that launch, and people loved that game from the launch. We've now seen it with Barrels of Fun here. Dune was not the best launch. I think they would even say that. This was what people are saying, damn near perfect launch. So I think ever more, the reason that launch is important is becoming, I don't know. I preach it all the time. Maybe I'm too close to it, but I really think the launch of a game. No, I'm not too close to it. I'm technically an expert in it when it comes to pinball sales and marketing. So I'm just telling you, that is the fact. The other thing, values and features of this game. You yourself, Dennis, said, it's $11,600. That's not cheap. Then again, when we are comparing what's in this game and what we get compared to other manufacturers, it is in the, it's in the better value than what we may get from a $13,000 Stern LE or even a $15,000 JJP game, or even a Pinball Brothers $13,000 on their highest edition. The really good values in pinball are the one fully loaded edition of the Spooky pinball machine. That Evil Dead was under $10,000, and it has kind of been Barrels of Fun, significantly loaded game for under $12,000. So when I say value, I mean what all we're getting comparative to other like products. I think that helps. And then the timing. I think the timing of this, you talked about it, how they timed it, what they came out with, the little window of, hey, Stern just had a Star Wars launch, didn't really hit big. We know that Spooky's launch isn't going to be until later on in the year. Big window. We got a Chicago Expo show, Halloween. We're all in the mindset of thinking of something kooky and spooky, and boom, here's a haunted house. We only have to sell 525. We're surprising people with the timing of this. We hit them up. They're excited. When you're surprised by something, your endorphins are high and your cognitions are they're fresh and your emotions are high. That's when you want to sell a game. That can turn on you, though. If you're heightened by something, you could turn on that bastard and be even nastier to it because you're heightened by it. But if you're doing it right, timing is everything, and they nailed the timing. So yeah, those are some components as to why this was successful in our opinion here at the Pinball Show. And our belief is the designer, probably the biggest factor. I think general theming of it being a very novel, loaded, haunted house based pinball machine was number 2. And then in my opinion, number 3 is collectibility. Dennis may differ.
Yeah,
what
I think timing's
was.
number 3.
Okay. Yep. I could see that argument too. Would this work in the future?
Sure.
Okay. So you think, it's such a risk. I still think it's a risk.
I ain't saying this is the right play. I'm just saying it could work. It could
It's
work
not the play I'd want.
However, the freshman effort of the one of us can't be duplicated. You'd need a new person. Like if this game is great, Karl will be able, he'll become a bankable name, and there will be that.
I think we're already there.
But that's a different strategy than this.
I think we're already there though with him. I think he is arguably their Elwin.
Sure. I think that's a fair argument.
I think I
would rather see a second game before I would say it, but
I'm just saying premonition. My guess. I'd also guess us hobbyists hold this special elite category of designers, and some go in and some come out of it. One person has never left that group, and that was Keith Elwin. I think this person, Karl DeAngelo, has the best opportunity thus far with the designers out there to enter into that same group and be there for a long time.
Well, this is still a pretty unplowed field of pinball playfield designers being top, really high level players. It's been more common for them to go in and do rules. You have the Ray Days, the Tim Sextons, the Keith Johnsons, really, really high level players doing design, playfield design. That's a newer field. And that's where Elwin has started. And plus DeAngelo here doing the Elwin and doing both lead rules and the design of the game from a physical perspective it's interesting. It would be there's good opportunity there. The thing is, I don't know how many high level players want to become playfield designers. It's not
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's only so many openings, and a lot of them may not even be really full-time gigs. It's and
I think we have these components in these groups for different creators as well. Artists, I think Christopher Franchi's in that group, and I think Zombie Yeti is in that group. Yeti, at times though, it gets close to dropping out of that group, but I think him and Franchi are still in that group, and then everybody else is trying to work their way into that exceptional group. Same with rules. Right now, though, I would argue that the only person in the rules category that we hold up to a no-brainer is the Elwin Nagel group. I think that who is close, in my opinion, would be, I think Ray Day is working to be there, not there yet. He hasn't proven himself to be in that group. And the other person I think has a strong, probably the strongest force right now is Elizabeth Gieske. I predict that she will be that person that everything that she comes out with and leads from here on out after Jaws, I think she's going to be in that upper echelon of okay, yep, she's going to be that big draw. But I don't think she's there yet. I think Jaws put her there, but I think she's come out until she proves herself again.
She's in the conversation.
Yep, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see where this all goes. I think it does work in the future, but give me the big IP to try to sell 2,000 to 3,000 units all day long. This is a risk, but this paid off very well. And what this does, I'm glad they did 525. My closing would be this. They could have sold more. A lot of people bitching about, well, they really botched how many they're selling. They could have made so much more money. I argue very much against that, and I think that is incorrect. I think they launched this to perfection. They nailed 525 units, in my opinion, with it selling out as quickly as it did. It actually is going to make them much more money. And they made a lot of growth in their brand from this move. And I think it automatically makes people and will make people purchase their next game, no questions. Just like Spooky Pinball's next game will sell based on the success of Evil Dead, undoubtedly. So for the extra, because if this game came out and they said 1,000 units, Dennis, I'm not convinced it sells over 600 units. I'm not even convinced it sells over 500 units.
They needed to rely on the scarcity, even if they guessed wrong. And I do think if they had made more, they would have sold more. However,
after the fact,
well, hindsight, you can't. This was the right play to do this limit, because if nothing else, they needed to rely on that to try and help the collectibility drive sales.
Yeah. You've increased the value of your brand and your products just with one product. That is most ideal in any situation. Let's talk about the 2025 Chicago Pinball Expo. We're going to kind of do this rather quickly, because if you go to patreon.com/thepinballshow, we're going to give our deeper takes on each of these items that we've heard and seen about from the expo. So make sure to join us there for all of you official club members. Check that out. Patreon.com/thepinballshow. The talk of the show was Winchester Mystery House by Barrels of Fun, of course. They stole the show. They stole second and third place as well. There were a couple predators at the show from Pinball Brothers. They even had, I like the play that they try to have the Richard Chavez there, played Poncho there at the show, meet with the fans. So they did have that. We'll talk about that more in the Patreon episode, what we thought about that and about Predator and what we're hearing. You'll want to hear the Patreon episode. Dutch Pinball announcing that they're going to make 333 Raza games.
Raza?
Gang or
Raza. It's back. Oh, their choices. I love it. I love it for the Patreon.
Dead. Patreon, because we have thoughts. They also announced, we've really got thoughts about this, at least I do. They announced that those 500 Alice from Wonderland buyers are going to get the first 500 games of what they inferred to be Back to the Future. Good move or fucking a horrible move? Find out on our Patreon. They seem pretty concerned with people bailing on those Alice orders and requesting refunds at the end of the year.
That would be a motivation to make this announcement.
Bigger picture? Is that a Band-Aid, short-term Band-Aid? Or we talked about brand equity of Barrels of Fun. This might be the opposite. Find out. Chicago Gaming Company telling people that they're going to run more Merlins in 2026. What does that mean? How are you going to get them? How many do people get? When can you take? A lot of details there, even behind-the-scenes distribution stuff in the Patreon episode. Hexa Pinball announced their next game title. Why so early? I don't know, because they don't consult with people like myself. Three Musketeers.
Non-licensed, but not original.
Big Trouble in Little China was the homebrew that everybody fell in love with by Kyle Smet. And a lot of thoughts on that. Monster League Hockey by friend Jake Danzig. Almost Joust-esque battle, back and forth kind of game. I've got a lot of thoughts on that. The homebrew area in general was a big talking point at the Chicago Pinball Expo. And Pinoween sale, the American formerly known as American Pinball Orbit Games, revealed their new game, Whirlo Ball, where the player whirls a ball into a slot for points.
Limited to 525?
Sold. They might have sold 5.25 units. We'll talk about that. Whirlo Ball. The Screaming Goat Club. We got to thank some people like the Bobcat. Gracias. I don't know if Bobcat went to Expo or not.
Oh,
Rob the Panther. Snore. Not sure. I don't know if our goats.
Most of them sounded like they were not going. Those that attended the happy hour.
Yeah, they're busy people. They're out frolicking in their goat-like pastures. Yes. Frank might have been the Falcon. Thanks for the support, Frank. Charlie, come and ring my bell. Charlie was not at the
Ding
expo.
dong and thank you.
No, he's busy. William, the The dude just got a game. Got another game. Good stuff. A lot of these people got their hands on a Winchester spot. Adam, speaking of Papa running around your leg.
Pasha!
Was Adam's kid. Adam? Maybe Adam got a Winchester.
You are like Papa!
Maybe he knew the right people to get one. Brian, thank you. Caretaker, for all your support. You think the caretaker got a Winchester? It's right up his alley.
It is, but it's such a big game for his tiny hand to handle.
I better use my strong
The
hand.
action button, child. Okay. All right, and a reminder that the next live happy hour hangout, people are loving these things, and they are getting really good. But it's going to be, what is it? The 30,
October 29th.
The 29th at 8 p.m. Central. Not 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Central. And we can't end the show. You guys missed it last time, but we're gonna have it this time. It's Pinball Market Trends.
No, we're out of time. Sorry, guys. Market Trends. Sorry.
Trending up this week's Winchester Mystery
No, trend
House.
up games. They can't even buy it.
Well,
Sold
because
out.
it's the bye.
You can't
Come
trend it
on.
up. Sorry, sold out.
Pasha!
It's so good. It's trending up. Everybody wants one. Did you know? I told you I was going to discuss numbers because, quite frankly, they do not lie, listener and viewer. Right now, you can get a Winchester Mystery House. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. It's going to cost you, though. I heard a couple of sales now have occurred, 3 or 4, maybe more, of Winchester Mystery House. Already $2,000 plus what the MSRP. So they're already going for around $14,000 as of right now. I could see this once it really dries up with every single person out there and production just starts. We didn't talk about production, but they're going to trickle out probably in the next 6 months. You're going to see the majority of these things out. But they'll do it. They'll really ramp up over the rest of the year. We'll start really seeing them churn them out come January, I believe. But I think we're going to see this thing upwards of $15,000, $16,000 where it's going to settle before production will catch up, and then it'll come back down to reality on the secondary market. But that's quite a bit of money. All it's trending up this week has got to be Barrels of Fun. You got to give praise where praise is due. They did really well, so much so that also trending up alongside this, Dune. Yeah. We have sold more Dune in the last week than we have in the last 2 months combined. We have seen a major uptick, a statistically significant uptick. Polynomial, I'm not sure, but Dune uptick. People are wanting the duo of Dune, and a lot of people played it at Expo. That's one of the things that Ken and Greg told me. They said a lot of people got their hands on Dune, and that was their first time, and they placed orders because
actually,
they really liked it.
I didn't think about that, but that's a good point.
They really did like that game, and they're like, "Why isn't this getting love?" And it's like, well, it is, but it's just not as much as Mystery right now. So that's trending up. All that's trending up this week is Beetlejuice.
What?
Beetlejuice.
That's not out.
That's not even. Is it out? I don't. Maybe it's out.
Questions need answers.
Depends on who you ask. If it is out, can I have your money? Gotta lock you in now. That's trending up, but really, unfortunately, what is trending down this week is Beetlejuice-esque. Look, this kind of stuff, it does not make me loved by a lot of people, but it is how I feel, and it's what the truth is. I wasn't crazy, viewer. I wasn't crazy, Dennis, about Spooky Pinball's move there, marketing-wise. Them dropping the whole Beetlejuice meme on the 13th of October.
The old JJP, let's have a pizza party to try and sabotage people from going to the stern reveal at a show style of pettiness?
I just didn't like the move. For me, when you got a big dick, you don't need to show it.
They share shipping containers with other companies.
I didn't like the move. And they're my great friends. They're like some of my closest friends in this industry. But I got to call it as I see it. I didn't like the move. And it wasn't so much because a lot of people are going to argue, it's business, Zach. It's why Jack Raniere did the whole Harry Potter thing. He wanted to play defense more than anything. He wanted to prevent people from spending money they might be spending on his product in the future. I have a whole nother episode to argue why that may or may not be the case. But when it comes to this one, I'm not so much mad about Spooky Pinball. I'm not mad about their move of doing this. It's like a defense thing. I don't think they needed to do this. I'm upset because they didn't need to. What for? What? What's the benefit here?
No, I agree with you. But that's the thing but I disagree about it being a good. I get that it's done as a defense, but even with JJP, if it was something like, hey, Winchester came out and there were still Evil Deads to sell and they mentioned Evil Dead, is one thing. When the game's not even for sale yet, and the same with JJP and all the Harry Potter references every time there was a new game that came out, and it's like, it's not out yet. To me, it's a sign of weakness.
It's a little bit of insecurity. I agree.
Yes. And it's not a good look, guys. It's not about how it comes across at best petty. And who wants to look petty?
And I get where they're coming from. They're excited. They're excited because essentially
then release it.
They're excited they have Beetlejuice. That's what they're saying.
Release it.
You know.
Then release it. If you were to release it and sell it the same day, it would have been different. But you're not ready.
I'm what I was saying. I'm not so much mad about them doing the move. It's just a move I don't think was a great move. I think if anything compromises the value of their brand that was rising really quick. You don't need it. You don't need it.
But I don't think it goes that far.
No, I don't. But
I don't. Most people don't care.
The problem I have with it
exaggerate it
is the indirect consequences of such an action. So I don't care that they did that. They were memeing because I think the community likes that. I think the community probably thought, oh, that's fucking cool. Oh, they are saying it's oh man, look at them. Like,
oh, I'm sure
they're
glad that they talked about Beetlejuice. I don't think the community was glad that they tried to stick it to barrels.
No, but I think overall the community don't take it too
that much. Quite
yeah,
frankly.
they don't care that much. So they just kind of like seeing the fun of it. But the indirect effects it had on me were then what happens?
Yes, it's all about you.
Then we get all of that. Well, no, I think it is market confusion. Then enters into the space stuff like market confusion and forcing somebody to do something that they're not comfortable necessarily doing. Everything was fine.
Put me on the interested list.
And then you know what? Interested list don't call it's fine. We got a nice system. Everybody's got the same rules. We're all playing by the same rules. And then you do something like this, and then it makes some dealers get a little squirrely. We talked about that insecurity. So then they start getting a little insecure. Oh, I'm not able to sell as well as somebody else, so I got to jump out in front of this, and I'm going to let people order from me. They said it's Beetlejuice. They didn't. They did. It's Beetlejuice. I get to announce it now. I'm a dealer, and I'm going to take your money. It's non-refundable. Yeah, sure. No, then it fucking messes everything up. It makes everything messy. It leads to confusion within the market. Customers are like, well, shit, I was on your list, Zach, but now I don't. Like, this guy's taking money and guarantee it, so should I be on his list? Like, no. You shouldn't have to pay money before you see what the hell you're paying for. Should that not just be a rule in pinball? Have we not learned? And this is from a dealer.
It's not a rule in lots of places, though. This is common in other industries.
God, why? Just everybody play by the same rules. We got time. Why are we doing this to our customers? Why are we doing this to hobbyists? We don't need to, don't need to do this. If it is Beetlejuice, and clearly it is, well, why do you need to take people's money before them seeing what they're getting? Just chill out. Chill out. Everybody should start the race at the same time. Do we really need handicaps in this industry like that? And that's fine. Again, I can't really blame. I can because I think it's icky to try to jump ahead and take advantage of customers. But that's just my philosophy. I kind of blame Spooky again. They have the control in this situation of saying, hey, if you want to sell our product, just everybody chill out. Let's sell it to people once they can see what it is. It doesn't make us look good if people are putting money down for something they don't even know what it is yet. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Stern wouldn't allow that. That's all I'm saying. Stern would have said no. You'll hear in the Patreon, another manufacturer, they wouldn't allow that. Just, we don't need to do it. Let's just make it clean so that the people buying this don't feel burned or don't feel a burden, to give money before they can see something. That's all. Also turning up this week, Dennis, is none other than myself, not myself. But it's Flip N Out Pinball. Not Flip N Out Pinball, not myself. It's actually It's Ken and Greg from Flip N Out Pinball. The booth that they did, I gave them, mostly Ken just said Ken wanted to do booths, and we gave up on booths a couple of years back. And whenever he joined the team, he said, I'd like to do booths again at shows. And I said, you do that. And he rolled with it, so much so trending up as the Flip N Out Pinball booth at Expo, because they received an award for runner-up of best booth. Huh? How about, yeah.
So it didn't win.
Damn it, didn't it? Just a small applause. I mean,
trending,
Trending, Trending up.
Trending, all right.
Yeah.
All
Trending
right.
pretty awesome. I think the winning booth was the tents, the homebrew tents. I think it was the homebrew. The Marco had this big area full of all the homebrew tents.
Yeah, you're not going to beat Marco.
Marco. Yeah, very deservedly. So they had all the homebrew. That was a big area. So I think they won. Best booth. I could be wrong, but I believe that was the case.
Or it was Coin Taker.
But I don't know if Coin Taker had a booth this year.
Well,
that's probably why we didn't. That's probably why we got runner up and didn't. Got an award because Coin Taker wasn't there. Or any of the others. I don't think a lot of the dealers were there. What? They were there, but they didn't have a booth.
Have you set a trend for dealers to abandon the booth model?
Sometimes when we walk in a room, people scurry. What can I say? Yeah, it's a thing. No, I was full transparency. We saw the layout, and anybody that has a booth is going to bitch and moan about something. Me and myself, trending down, bitching about the $5,000 internet fees. $5,000, Dennis.
I mean,
you
might as well buy your own internet provider.
What the hell is that? Like, that's just a slap in the face. Always with these fees. I think we paid electricity. We paid probably air fee for the air that we used within our cubic feet. Wow, man. $5,000 internet.
Why would you do that for $5,000? Like, I would go without Wi-Fi.
That's what we did. I said, no.
Or I would say, I'm not going to your show.
Well, you do that as well. They had a lot of fun at the booth. We were in a good spot, right center, closer to the bathrooms than I would have liked. But needless to say, still center right when you walk in. But they did the placement. I'll have to give Rob Burke a little sass here. He put us behind the cup guy.
Yeah. Cup guy?
Yeah, the cup guy. We got behind cup guy. So cup guy builds wall o' cups. And we had this nice, featured portal thing, and we got big illuminated, and they're hidden behind cup guy. Wait, really? We haven't worked hard enough in this industry to be in front of cup guy? Our portal would have entered into World O Cup. But no, we were behind wall of cups. That's okay.
I bet you cup guy got the Wi-Fi.
That's right. Oh, well. But yeah, I've got to give credit to Ken, who almost single-handedly just put that entire booth together. But then again, I'm just here to report the facts because numbers don't lie. They do nothing more than get my ass in trouble each and every week on Pinball Market Trend. Where can people catch you?
You can always reach out at collectthegamerspodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Or you can email us at thepinballshow@gmail.com. Please sign up to the Patreon, become an official club member so you can hear all the exclusive content, the private-ish Discords, all the other perks that go along with the all-access Patreon club of the Pinball Show. We might even give you a home leaderboard if you sign up today before the end of the month. And we won't.
Nope.
No. Product showcase this week for Flip N Out Pinball, which is the sponsor of this show.
When I buy my pinball shit, I buy from Flip N Out. From toppers, sharp blades, premiums, I've got it figured out. Flip N Out, figured out. When I think of pinball, I think Flip N Out. Flip N Out, figured out. When I buy from Flip N Out. Buy.
Product showcase is Medieval Madness Remake Merlin Edition. That's right. You can get on the list now for one at Flip N Out Pinball. I'm not going to take your money or anything, even though you know what it is. But more details to come. Listen to the Patreon. But if you would like to, and you're not on that interested list for a Merlin edition, just reach out to Zach, Z-A-C-H, at flippinoutpinball.com, or Greg at flippinoutpinball.com, or Ken at flippinoutpinball.com. Buy a game from us. Support us. Help us. We love it, and we very much appreciate it. We're creating content for you over at Flippin' Out Pinball, such as, I mean, come on. Doesn't get much better than Joel at the Flippin' Out Pinball YouTube channel. I think he's got a new Medieval Madness Merlin tutorial video, and he's going to be playing some Winchester here soon. Flippin' Out Pinball podcast with Ken and Greg. They just did, I think, episode 10 on what their thoughts are on teasers, and they polled the audience as well, and people phoned in and called in, messaged in what they thought about pinball teasers, how soon they should come, what they should show, etc. That was a really interesting episode. And they had that special episode, that exclusive launch interview with David Van Ness and with Karl DeAngelo about the Winchester Mystery House game. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. Follow, like, and subscribe. I love you people. Dennis, teach them something.
This is for all the pinball manufacturers. Do not confuse Winchester Mystery House with this carte blanche permission to just do a bunch of generic haunted mansions. It is not going to work for you. This is lightning in a bottle, and you don't got the lightning.
You ain't got the lightning. And always practice safe pinball and find the beauty and joys in life. Watch a child eat the bottom of an ice cream cone and it spill upon their feet, and them try to figure out what the hell life is all about. You know what, kid? That's pinball hobby and pinball distribution right there. You go ahead and take a big chomp out of the bottom of that cone. You're going to reap the consequences, but you're going to learn from it. And that's all I ask. I don't ask for you not to bite the bottom of a cone, because dagnabbit, I would want to try that as well. But once you do it once and your fingers are sticky, and your shoes are getting sticky, and it's starting to affect other people's shoes and other people's enjoyability of their ice cream, just fucking just be normal and just eat your ice cream cone like everybody else, would you?
From you. Great.
That's right.
Great advice. Be normal.
That's right.